Okay. Ajita, start.
Yes, ma'am. In 5 seconds. Um, okay. There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life
Okay.
that is less than the one you are capable
Ajita,
of
start.
living by Nelson Mandela. Good evening to one and all present here in the meet and also in the YouTube live stream. My name is Ajita Chalam and I am a final year student
There is
of
no
the
passion
Department
to
of
be
Accounting and
found
Finance.
playing small.
I extend my
In
warm
settling
welcome
for a
to
life
invite
that
my
is
chief
less than
guest,
the one
Mrs.
you are
Sakina
capable of
Agarwal,
living by
and to
Nelson
our
Mandela.
HOD of the
Good evening
Accounting
to
and
one and all
Finance, Dr.
present here
Gayatri
in the
Harikumar,
meet
and
and
also in
also
the
I
YouTube
extend
live
my
stream.
welcome
My
to
name is
all the
Ajita
family
Chalam
members
and I
and
am a
my dear
final year
friends.
student
There is
of
no
the
passion to
Department
be
of Accounting
found.
and
Good morning to
Finance.
you, ma'am.
I
It's
extend
5:30
my
for you. In
warm
settling
welcome
for a
to
life
invite
that
the
is
chief
less than
guest,
the one
Mrs.
you are
Sakina
capable of
Agarwal,
living. We don't
and
do
to
a
our
HO
HOD
class 3
of the
Good evening to one
Accounting
and
and
all
Finance, Dr.
present here
Gayatri
in the
Harikumar,
meet
and
and
also
also
in the
I
YouTube
extend
live
my
stream.
welcome
My
to
name is
all the
Ajita
family
Chalam
members
and I
and
am
my
a
dear
final year
friends.
student
There is
of
no
the
passion
Department
to
of
be
Accounting
found.
and
Good morning to
Finance.
you, ma'am. It's
I extend
5:30
my
for you. In
warm
settling
welcome
for a
to
life
invite
that
the
is
chief
less than
guest,
the one
Mrs.
you are
Sakina
capable of
Agarwal,
living
by
by
and to
Nelson
our
Mandela.
HOD of the
Good evening to
Accounting and
one and all
Finance, Dr.
present here
Gayatri
in the
Harikumar,
meet
and
and
also
also
in the
I
YouTube
extend
live
my
stream.
welcome
My
to
name is
all the
Ajita
family
Chalam
members
and I
and
am
my
a
dear
final year
friends.
student
There is
of
no
the
passion to be
Department of
found.
Accounting
Good
and
morning to
Finance.
you, ma'am. It's
I
my
extend my
job. In
warm
settling
welcome
for
to
a life
invite
that
the
is
chief
less than the
guest,
one
Mrs.
you are
Sakina
capable of
Agarwal,
living. We
by
don't
and
do
to
a
our
HO
HOD
class
of
3
the
Good evening to
Accounting
one
and
and all
Finance,
present
Dr.
here in
Gayatri
the
Harikumar,
meet and
and
also
also
in
in
the
the
YouTube
YouTube
live
live
stream.
stream.
My name
शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं नेह शिवावर मोए शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं अरे सो जब जाए लरूं न डरूं अरे सो जब जाए लरूं निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करूं निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करूं निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करूं देह शिवावर मोए शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं अर सिख हो अपने ही मन को अरे सिख हो अपने ही मन को लालच हो गुण तो चढ़ो लालच हो गुण तो चढ़ो लालच हो गुण तो चढ़ो देह शिवावर मोए शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं जब आपकी याद निधान बने जब आपकी याद निधान बने अतहीरन में तब जोज मनूं अतहीरन में तब जोज मनूं नेह शिवावर मोए शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं देह शिवावर मोए शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरूं
Thank you, Vinodini. It was very beautiful. Thank you. Now I request our HOD, Dr. Gayatri Harikumar, to introduce the chief guest for today.
Good evening to everyone present here. I thank the chief guest, Mrs. Sangeeta Agarwal, for having raised the patient, accepting the invitation. And though it's an early morning hour for her, keeping aside all her busy schedule, she has accepted and raised the patient. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank the college management and our principal, Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, our secretary and correspondent, Mr. Manjeet Singh Nair, our principal, Dr. N.G. Raghunathan, and the vice principal, Dr. N.C. Rajshri, for helping us to conduct this webinar in a successful manner. Going on to introduce our speaker, invite the speaker, Mrs. Sangeeta Agarwal. She has many hats decorating of many feathers decorating her hat. So going one by one from a professional to artistic career, let me introduce her. Mrs. Sangeeta Agarwal has a master's degree in electrical and computer engineering from University of Missouri. She has a bachelor's in electronics and communication engineering from Hindustan College of Engineering, Adur. She is a program manager, IT professional, dancer, a teacher, choreographer, wife, and a mother of 2 teenage children. Talking about her professional life, Sangeeta is a manager of program management and professional services at Monster Government Solutions, managing multiple project implementation for the state of Ohio and Washington. She has over 20 plus years of experience in developing, managing, and analyzing systems and processes. She is a collaborative and consultative leader who excels in transforming ideas into action, driving positive organizational change, and managing the expectations of demanding high-profile stakeholders. Strategically, she is a strategic leader with proven ability to direct and lead multiple projects with varying levels of complexity from inception to completion, with keen attention to detail, milestone achievement, and stakeholder engagement. She currently manages a portfolio of over $40 million. Talking about her dance life, Sangeeta is a trained dancer in the well-known Kalakshetra style of dance. She started learning Bharatanatyam when she was just 3.5 years old, and she pursued rigorous training under Kumari Prasanna Vatani, a disciple of Kalakshetra in Chennai, India. She completed her Arangetram under the distinguished presence of Srimati S. Sharada of Kalakshetra when she was 10 years old. Sangeeta has given several dance performances in India and has been regularly performing in the United States. Some of her notable performances include the Cherry Blossom Centennial Celebration, the International Showcase at the World Bank, a performance at the Indian American Community Organization of the Greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, as well as the National Council of Asian Indian Associations, attended by dignitaries from the government of the state of Maryland and Her Excellency Srimati Nirupama Rao, India's ambassador to the United States. Talking about her music career, Sangeeta is also a well-versed Carnatic music singer. She has been trained for several years under Srimati Vijayam, a local artist in Chennai. She has been performing and training disciples in the DC metro area in the tradition of Carnatic music. Sangeeta belongs to a musical family. Her forefathers adorned the court of Shivaganka as Asthana Vidwans. One of her forefathers was the famous Periya Vaidyanathan from Tanjavur. Accolades and giving back. What she has done to the society in the artistic field are narrated below. Sangeeta's passion for dance and music and a natural flair for teaching led to the establishment of Hastaswara Performing Arts, a school dedicated to training students in the fields of Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music in Northern Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. in Washington, D.C. In May 2012, Sangeeta Agarwal received a governor's citation from the governor of Commonwealth of Virginia for enriching the lives of Virginia residents through arts and culture. Sangeeta strongly believes in spreading the art forms of dance and music in its purest form. She encourages her students to perform and showcase their talents. Sangeeta has conducted Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music arangetrams of her students. Sangeeta has supported many non-profit organizations and has participated in fundraising events to support causes she believes in. Some notable ones include her collaborations with South Asian Dance Evolution, a benefit in support of joint surgical mission trips to Sri Lanka and Philippines. Unique Foundation, and she has also helped Unique Foundation Inc. to help raise money for cancer research. So commemorating that, yesterday was World Cancer Day. I'm really thankful to you, Sangeeta ma'am, for doing that kind of a noble cause, also working for that cause. She also has collaborated with Empowers Inc., a non-profit organization that supports poor children with the tuition fees in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Sangeeta has been guest lecturing every semester and teaching short Carnatic music compositions to international students who study music as their major at the University of Mary, Washington in Virginia. I am really stunned, ma'am, for having so many multitasking. You're doing a multitasking of performing in arts, doing your music, and doing your justification to your corporate job. managing family, children, teenage children, of course, we know the difficulties of managing them, and also you have been giving back to the society. And I proudly invite you, because you're from the state of Tamil Nadu, that too from Chennai. We raise our collars and say that you belong to this part of India. I'm really proud, feeling very happy to host you, and I hope that you will give all your experiences to our students, because they think that USA is better. I don't know, because I've been totally right from childhood I've been in India, so I don't have any notions about the West. So I hope that my students will ask you questions, and you will also share on your own all your experiences and enrich us as to which place is best, or you say that what are you going to be your concluding remarks. So I'm anxiously awaiting you to hear from you, and I'm really going to welcome you with a warm gesture, because this is going to be an online platform. What I can only say is namaste. Thank you for accepting our invitation and coming. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the elaborated descriptive introduction of our chief guest. I'm so glad to have you, ma'am. And so without further go, I welcome you all again to this international webinar on career and passion, East versus West. And yes, ma'am, there are many myths. Even I have, I have about this abroad studies and working there and everything. So I hope you'll share your journey, and so we'll all be enlightened of your session. Thank you. Looking forward.
Well, first of all, good evening to everybody in Chennai. Thank you, Dr. Gayatri, for the warm welcome and introduction. I appreciate it. Thanks to Mr. Principal, Dr. Raghunathan, and correspondent, Mr. Sardar Manjeet Singh Nair, for providing me this opportunity to speak to all the talented students of Guru Nanak College today. I'm honored and delighted to be here today, honestly. I would be rather, I would not be doing anything else today other than, talk to you guys this morning. So thank you for the opportunity. So let me ask, how many of you are passionate about something? How many of you know what career path you want to take? Has someone told you that you're really talented at something? What is talent? How do you define success? Well, I don't expect you to know the answers to any of these questions. The idea is to help you explore the possibilities. I'm just going to share with you my journey about career, passion, what talent really is, and the idea of success. As someone that was born and brought up in Chennai and moved to the US in pursuit of a career in life, I hope to highlight a few differences between the East and the West from my perspectives, from my experiences. Hopefully that helps. Obviously, I encourage you to, ask as many questions as you want at the end, and I'm happy to share, my perspectives and my experiences. Okay, along the way, I'm also going to offer a few pieces of advice. Why? Apparently, that's what 40-something-year-olds like me do to 20-something-year-olds like yourself, offer advice, right? The last thing you need. But I'm going to do it anyway, okay? So let's begin. I'm blessed to have parents who understood the importance of exploring interests outside of primary education. They enrolled me in dance classes when I was only 3.5 years old. I used to watch in awe all the students that danced. Just came home and told my parents, I don't know how to dance. What am I going to do? My dad tells me that for the first 6 months, I just sat on my teacher's lap. She used to call me Laddu. Just sat and watched, didn't do anything. And then came home and then just still complained that I didn't know how to dance. The 6th month mark, I think I got up and I started dancing. And I actually started participating in class. My parents also enrolled me in music lessons when I was 6 years old. I diligently learned music as well. However, at some point, I had this notion that it's difficult to keep dance and education and music all going at the same time. So I decided to only pursue dance and education with rigor, though I very well knew that music was something I truly loved. The story goes, I went on to complete my education quite well, actually. I topped my class, completed bachelor's in engineering, I also went on to complete my Bharatanatyam Arangetram, and I continued performing in various venues in Chennai well into my college years. Well, in fact, all of you are here today. You've come this far with your education, right? So kudos to you. I know you'll pass with flying colors. I have no doubts about that, right? As kids, we are all provided with opportunities. One, maybe by our parents, which allows us to decide if those opportunities are things that we might want to continue doing, right? Or two, we may seek opportunities to learn something ourselves. Maybe you're interested in learning karate, or you want to do painting, whatever the case may be. You may seek out to do that. Or number three, we simply don't know what it is that we want to do, or what it is that we may be good at. If you're lucky enough to have opportunities put on your lap, such as myself with dance and music, finding me in my life, and you actually like that, then great, fantastic. Let's say that was not the case, but you found things that you like to pursue, and you pursued it, and you're pursuing it, then fantastic, great. Well, if you're not found that one thing that makes you happy, my first piece of advice, keep looking, don't stop looking. Grab opportunities by the horn and try to find that one thing that you can hang on to, the one thing that makes you happy. It's truly important. When we are young, it's hard to foresee the future, right? What is coming. But when you get to my age and you look back, you'll be glad that pieces of what you explored or done when you were young that makes you happy will make sense to you. I promise. It's making total sense to me today. So, keep exploring, try finding those opportunities. Now, after my bachelor's, when I was getting ready to either find a job or I was thinking about options of studying further, my grandfather fell very sick. My dad was in Merchant Navy at that time, and he was away from family. And me and my mom were the only ones taking care of my grandfather. He eventually passed away in September that year. 6 months went by after my graduation. I had no plans. I didn't know what to do. Just began reaching out and started talking to a lot of people. One of my classmates was applying to universities in the US and said he had 2 extra applications. I said, can I have it? So I got those from him. That's all. Seriously, I didn't have anything else. I just asked him, have you applied to all your university? Do you have anything left over? And he said, I have 2. I said, can you give it to me? So I got those from him, and I decided that I was going to apply to a university to pursue my master's. That's how it started. See, I was from a middle-class family. Money was very limited. I knew I had to work hard to secure a scholarship. If not, I was going to catch a flight and get back to Chennai, right where I started, because we could not afford to pay the entire fees to complete my education. Scholarship was the only way to go. So I worked really hard, and I never took anything for granted. Hard work is all it is, right? There was no easy way out. There is no magic wand for anything. After I graduated with my master's here, I found a good career as a software consultant. I grew through the ranks and never failed to grab any opportunities that came my way or expand my horizons. I got married when I was only 23. And then I had 2 kids by the time I turned 30. 5 to 6 years in my career, I started managing global teams and multi-million-dollar project implementation. When I came to the US, I realized the importance of forming relationships and working on communication skills. Whether it's trying to understand your boss or forming those connections with your peers or people that work for you. See, most people living in the US were brought up with a primary focus on language and communication skills. Me, coming from India, the focus was always on technical skills. Can I code well? Everything was all about technical skills. So improving my communication skills was very important and certainly has been a major contributor to who I am today. Believe me, it was not easy. Something that you have to work hard at and keep developing. I'm still doing that today. I'm still working on it even today. It's just not enough to know the information. It's important to know how to communicate and articulate that piece of information. Very, very, a key factor, right? Now, life was plenty busy for me. I had a full-time career. I had a family. In 2010, we moved from Missouri to Virginia, a different state. I was exploring activities for my children in a new city. I accidentally started a conversation with a yoga teacher at a local temple. And we quickly ended up in a conversation about dance and how one of her friends was looking for a Bharatanatyam teacher for her kids. I certainly did not believe at that time that I could handle teaching alongside a demanding professional career and 2 kids under the age of 10. No way. I'm like, oh God, no, not for me. So my dad was and always has been a biggest pillar of my support. He said, look, you've invested so many of your so many years of your life learning dance and music. You love it. You should start teaching and giving back to the community. And he's like, what is the worst thing that can happen? You will fail. So what? That should not stop you from trying. Teach a small bunch of people. You don't need to do anything big, but keep your art form alive. It's something that you like, keep doing it. That's the advice he gave me. I still remember that. I also still vividly remember how I got in touch with music back again, something that I used to enjoy, right? And I started back practicing music, something that I had discontinued due to demands of education while growing up. I mean, there was really no need for me to have given up music at all growing up. We think, we are so busy when we are young, we can only do one thing well. But anything that you start learning and you start exploring is always good, right? It comes handy. Like I learned music for 7 years, so I could pick it back up. And I knew enough to pick it back up, to pursue practicing myself and to continue teaching. That's very powerful. So, again, going back to my earlier point, don't let opportunities go by. You have an opportunity to learn anything. It doesn't matter. Take it and work on it. You can always go back to it when you're older and say, oh, I want to pick that back up. You never know what comes back in your life, right? I'm glad dance and music came back in my life. I never thought that was going to happen. Now, I wanted to start my school of performing arts, right? I wanted to start teaching dance and music. I remember me and my dad, he was here in the US at that time. We made flyers, we made those flyers. And we went and we posted those at a local grocery store. Just tell them that, oh, I'm going to start teaching dance. So it started like this, right? Nothing starts big, everything starts small. I started teaching just 3 kids. The 2 kids that, had asked me at the temple, and one other kid saw that, flyer that I had posted. So I started teaching dance in 2011. Fast forward 10 years. Now I teach so many kids and I run multiple batches over the weekend that I don't have time to breathe. Now I don't pick up the calls and I don't entertain any more kids coming because I don't have enough time. I mean, I have 5 days a week, I work a professional life, and then the weekend, I only have a Saturday evening, okay? Every other day, every other hour of my life is booked. So, but that's how I started. I started with 3 kids. So I've been teaching for 10 years, and it has been the most rewarding experience in my life. It is a lot of juggling, okay? Yes, absolutely. However, it's the best thing that I did in my life after so many years. I also started performing Bharatanatyam at the age of 36. After a good 15 years gap, what it feels like, your body is not the same when you're 36. When you're 15 and 16, it's different. When you're your age, it's great. Oh my God. It's not the same. I trained for over a year just to perform a 5-minute Tilana. 5-minute Tilana every day for over a year. And no, this is no kidding. It was hard as hell. But it is the power of that thought, that positive thought, that pushed me to do it. I said, I want to do this. I love to do this. I'm going to make my body work. And I push myself to do it. Just the power of that thought. So my next piece of advice is going to kick in here, okay? I'm going to say, positive affirmations are very important. You need to believe that you can do things. And things will happen. There is nothing like I cannot do it. You have to believe in yourself and you have to invest the time and you have to work hard and things will happen. And I also say, don't find excuses to not do things that you love, right? If my dad had not pushed me, I would have said, oh, I have a busy career. Oh my God, I have 2 kids. I have a family to run. Everybody does, and here in the US, we have to do our own cooking, cleaning, everything is there. None of everything that we do goes away. Everything is still there, right? But no excuses. You need to find things that you want to do, that you love to do. I often hear people saying, oh, I'm passionate about painting. I'm passionate about running, but I cannot pursue it because I have no time. Well, when you're passionate about something, time should not be a matter at all. You will find time to do things that you like to do in life. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. It's quite possible that you graduate from college, start a job, and the job itself can become a passion, right? Not everybody has a passion, right? But your job can become a passion. You may love it and you may find fulfillment in it. That's great. See, not always can we turn, or do we want to turn our passion into a full-time job? Many people ask me, why couldn't you just teach dance? Why can't you just, why are you working and teaching? Why can't you do one or the other? So in my case, coming from a middle-class family and having gone through my master's in electrical engineering and having invested so much of my time and energy in education, not pursuing a professional career was not an option. I knew I could be good at it. However, my professional career did not deter me from getting back to what I loved, my passion of music and dance. And demands of my job, my God, I cannot tell you, it's quite high. I managed 3 major multi-million-dollar projects and managed several people. Getting back to teaching dance and music is the one that provides some sanity in my life. It gives me that stress relief that I very much need. It is work, it's time consuming, but when I go down and I start teaching, I forget everything. That's what I want to do. And that is so powerful. I mean, I cannot tell you. It's just phenomenally powerful. You have to form your support system and depend on people you trust to help you attain your potential. Whether you're 20 or 40 or 60, whatever the case may be, right? Nobody succeeds alone. You need good friends, you need parents, you need a spouse, kids, everybody to support your dreams. When I wanted to start dance classes, my husband was extremely supportive. He didn't say, oh, you cannot do this. You have 2 kids, you have to cook and clean, you cannot do that. No, he was very supportive. He said, if that makes you happy, you need to try that. And I'll help you out, with whatever it is that I can help you. My kids understood the meaning of commitment. I have to attribute a lot to my kids too. My daughter is now 19. My son is almost 16. I work all 7 days a week. I told you that. And if I have to miss watching their swim practices, or if I could not make it to their piano recital, they understood that what I did made me happy. So they did not make me feel bad and say, Amma, you didn't come to this. You didn't come watch me. Oh, when they were young, they may have said that. Then my daughter, promptly shuts my son off and say, Jay, don't talk to your mom like that. She does a lot. So, that support of kids, now he understands, he understands what I go through. So that's very powerful, right? They watch by example, right? You watch by example, right? I can talk to you all day long, but you watch your parents, you watch your friends, you watch your teachers, and you say, what is it that I want to do? So it's very powerful, right? Now, I'm going to try and answer this. Is it different living in India or the US, trying to pursue a career or passion? What do you think? I would offer
I
that.
think it's up to us. I think it's up
That's
to us,
fine.
like how it's our mindset and acceptance to the country, wherever we live in. And yeah.
That is perfect. That is my thought. I would offer that it's not much different at all. Yeah, there are pros and cons, right? In both places, there are pros and cons. So, as somebody that lived in India and US, I can tell you, what do I find good in India? So let me talk about that. I think this concept of community is great, right? What do I mean by that? When you want to do something in India, you have parents, uncles, aunts, grandma, grandpa, neighbors, and a whole gamut of folks that can help support you, right? That's wonderful when you need a support system to further your career or dreams. It's not always the case here in the US, okay? You just have your immediate family. If I want to start something, there is not that support system. You have to build that support system. It's not automatically available for you to use, right? So I find that, I find that to be very powerful and positive in India. So, nothing stops you. The sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want. You have a lot of people rooting for you. And I think, the next thing I think is a lot of us in India grew up with this philosophy of, karam karo, fal ki ichha mat karo. What does that mean? Do your work. Don't worry about results, right? Because the society will reward you. But when I came to the US, it was really a bit of a culture shock for me. I had to be vocal about my skills and abilities. Nobody taught me to do that in India, right? I figured I'm doing the best that I can. Everybody should know that I'm doing a good job. No, nobody knows what you're doing. So here when I came, I had to be vocal about my skills, my abilities. Nobody was going to do it for me. And silence was considered weakness. If I didn't say anything, then it's like, oh, maybe she doesn't know anything. That's not always the case, right? I mean, you don't want to always have the last word in your meeting. But when I'm talking at work, I want people to listen to me. When I open my mouth, it has to be impactful and powerful, not just keep talking all the time. But, sometimes it's misconstrued. When you're silent, they think it's weakness. Not something that I expected at all when I came here. So that was a big shift. I'm still learning today, right? That was a big shift in how I thought or how I functioned. Well, flipping the tables, what do I find good here in the US, right? Like I said, there are pros and cons. I think work ethics. And again, I think no job is considered too small or bad, right? There is, and if something does not work, you get up and try something else. Most people don't worry about starting back at the bottom. They don't jump ship. For example, I've been working in my professional career for 23 something years. This is only my third job. I don't jump ship. I try to be in the same place. I try to learn. And if something does not work, that's fine. You go find something else, but nothing is too small or bad. Just that is something that I find here in the US. I also have, I think I've developed this individualistic approach here. Okay, that's one thing. I think that's there. That's that I've developed, right? So if I wanted to do something, right, I had to only make sure my kids, my husband, they're okay with my decision. But I know in India, there's a lot of advice coming from a lot of people, family members tell you, oh, do that, don't do that, to make the same decision which I would have made, just I think and I execute here, right? But, the same decision could, potentially add complications in India because there are like 55 different people giving you input. Not a bad thing, but sometimes it can also deter you from what you're doing. So that's something that I think is different between there and here. See, all I'm trying to say is that there are pros and cons in both places, right? Nothing is good or bad, right? There is pros and cons that are good, good in some things and not so good in other things. So you just, have to keep that perspective in mind. And I want to, hit upon the topic of talent, right? You often hear people talking about talent. They say, oh, see how talented she is at teaching or dancing or dealing with clients. Well, what is talent really? In my opinion, okay, if you do something with dedication and perseverance, and you want to be, and want something really bad, and you want to be really good at what you do, you work and you work and you work until you get better and better and better at whatever you do. Everything becomes muscle memory. We say this in dance, right? Everything is muscle memory. And what you do becomes second nature. You learn time management skills and you'll be able to do things well and be able to find time for things you want to do, okay? And see, I want to tell you, this is a world of instant gratification, right? When you want something, you order online It arrives the next day. Order it on Amazon.in, right? You want to watch a movie? You can stream it on Netflix and watch. No waiting. Everything happens just like that, right? But if you want to be really good at anything, okay? It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be education, music, dance, cooking, running, anything. It takes hard work and perseverance. It just is. There is no magic wand. You have to spend time to do it. Okay. And when someone says, oh, Sangeeta, you're so talented. You handle 2 full-time jobs, you have a professional career, you have a performing arts career, and yet you handle the duties of a wife and a mom. I just laugh. I really do laugh. I'm like, it's not talent. It is meticulous planning. It's hard work, repeated practice of things that need work and execution. When something does not work, you change course until you get it right. There's nothing that just happens like that. There's some level of talent somewhere, but talent is not everything. Hard work is what it is, right? That's at least that's what I believe. And I also want to talk about this idea of success, right? How do you define success? Is it having a fantastic job? Is it making a huge paycheck every month, bringing lots of money home? Is it being famous? I don't know.
I guess success cannot be defined. Like it's more like it's happiness. What you do and you feel happy for that, you feel satisfied.
Yeah.
That is
It's the interpersonal satisfaction which you get. I feel success if I get a small chips packet. It's success for me. And if someone says, yeah, I get a big job, it's success for them. So I think it's the satisfaction of the interpersonal thing.
Oh, absolutely. Right. When you talk about success, like for me, right, I wear multiple hats, right? So when I'm managing a project, right, just learning from my mistake and making that one improvement to the overall process, just one small improvement is success for me. Say when I'm dancing, just being able to perform a 10-minute piece instead of an 8-minute piece, just building up the stamina to do that additional 2 minutes of that dance. You think it's just 2 minutes, but it's not. For me, it's success, right? From going from 8 minutes to 10 minutes is success for me. When I'm teaching music, just being able to understand what techniques to apply to make a student, say, hit a high note or a low note, right? Many people struggle with that. What do I do to make them understand, right? Is success to me. If I can get through to that one student and make them hit that high note or low note, that's success. It's not a big thing, it's not a huge thing, but for me it is. And then I'm a mother, right? I told you I have 2 teenage kids. Just being able to instill confidence and independence in my kids, not by telling them what to do, right? If I tell my teenage kids what to do, that's not going to go so well. But I serve as an example, right? So they know what mommy does or what daddy does. And then that is success, right? Just letting them watch, not by telling them, right? Just letting them watch and serving as an example is success. So I totally believe that success is what we define for ourselves. It comes from within. It's not what society tells you it is. Don't let anybody tell you what success is. It has to come from within. You have to feel, you have to think in your head what you think is success. Also, I think it's not about where one lives, is somebody living in in India or the US that defines how successful a person can be. You can be phenomenally successful living in India, and you can be a miserable failure living in the US. You can get all the opportunities and you can be so bad, abject failure. I think what matters is how we hone our personality, how we utilize the opportunities that come our way. What do we do when we fail? Do we just give up? Or do we say, I got this, I'm going to get up, try again, and work that much harder to get where I need to, right? And how we make those meaningful relationships that can then form the support system you need to be successful. Those are the key driving factors of how one becomes successful. It's not It's not about whether somebody's living in India or US, because there is always this misconception that you go to US and you can be successful. No, I know a lot of people doing really poorly, really bad, right? So I know I know I've talked a lot. So I'm going to close with a few thoughts, okay, for you to ponder upon, okay? Did you want to hear all my advice on a Friday evening? But I gave it to you anyway, and I'm going to close with a few thoughts, for you to consider. Always explore opportunities. Don't give up on any opportunities that come your way. Okay, make sure you explore your opportunities. Write down your goals. That can be really helpful to know what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You want to believe in the power of positive thinking. Tell yourself, I can do this. Okay, tell yourself I can do this, and you will be able to get at least to the first step. Make that attempt. And don't be afraid to start anything new. I think it's never late to start anything new. You also always want to be this, you want to strive to be the very best that you can be at whatever you do. Anything, right? That's very important. And then don't ever let people define your success. Don't let people tell you stuff. You decide for yourself. You have to feel right in your heart that what you're doing is making sense. And you decide for yourself. Don't let anybody tell you you're not successful or you're successful. No, don't. Just leave the negative influences away, just positive thoughts. And last but not the least, don't ever give up on your dreams and passion. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Have you heard that saying? It's a very common saying, right? But that's true. That's very true. You find a passionate career or a passion that you could turn into a career, or a career and a passion that makes you excited. Okay, I want you to think about these things. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Sangeeta, 1 second, I'm really astonished, scintillating of all the things. What I liked the most was your definition of success. It was mind blowing because you started with real, very simple examples. Like success, it can be defined by others, but what you feel within. It was really good, and with your examples, it was that the 2 step, that 2 minute saving, or that stamina, extra energy that you could gain and do that 2 minute performance. It was really amazing. I will leave the mic to Ajita because I just wanted to jump and tell that it was really awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you. I think that's one thing that people try to tell you, right? How successful you are or how not so successful you are. I don't believe in that. You have to decide for yourself and push negative people away from your life. You don't need that influence in your life. You don't need it. We all have problems on a day-to-day basis, just right from getting up to getting through our day. You don't need people telling you, you're not good or, you're not successful. I think that's for you to decide and just tell them, hey, I'm successful in my own right. That's what you need to tell them. At least, that's what needs to happen in my mind, at least. So.
Yeah, I feel the same way, whatever you told me, to the session. And like when you told that, like about success, what I thought was like, wherever we are, we need to be star there. Whatever we do, we just need to shine, work towards it. And so, yeah, if we feel like it, if we feel whatever we do is good, and if we feel good about it, yeah, that's the passion which we get. And for me, for not for me, for everybody, in this age, it's kind of like it's very confusing what to do next, and the time is limited, and we're just pressurized to do things, and if I still don't know what I'm passionate about, like, entirely. I believe that passion come anytime, any moment we would trigger up by a movie or a painting. I don't know, we would be the passion would develop through a person's speech or something. So I think whatever you said, to always keep our opportunities open, to keep our minds open, to grab everything whatever we can do, and multitask. I don't know, but you did not consider that you are talented, but you consider that it's your success. But I think your talent is getting all these things done within a week, like multitasking everything. So yeah, so that's a talent, what I think.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I hope it was a very good morning to you because yeah, we are energized right now, and
Yeah, I hope I offered something. I want to make sure that there is, you can ask me questions and there is an impact made, right? I mean, like I
yeah,
said,
it did.
I have 2 kids, and I want to make sure that I'm offering something that you can connect to, right? I mean, I'm well into my 40s, and but I still have kids, and I understand, they have different. In fact, my daughter is. She woke up 1 hour earlier than me. She's actually on the Google Meet here, and she's there to.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to tell this. Sangeeta, I just want you to introduce her, and because she will be of their age, so she can also, if you have any questions of studying abroad or like managing, or because you have your passion in music and dance, and I think similarly Neha also has her passion in music and dance. I just want her to tell as to whether there are kids without knowing what their passion is. Do we have abroad students like like Americans not knowing their passion, and are they struggling like our Indian kids? I just want her to like talk about that.
No, and Neha, are you there? I saw her pop in for a little bit. So there she is. So she is a second year student of computer engineering at University of Illinois. So I taught her dance, and I did her Arangetam, which was the best year of my life, because I just had all those memories with her. She's never lived in India. Okay, so all her perspectives are going to be, of course, she has had Indian parents tell her, I'm married to a Rajasthani. So we have two different, cultures, and that's why I'm Agarwal. I'm a well-bred Chennai girl, but but we have two different cultures, and we tell them everything that we want to tell them. So she's heard an earful from her Indian parents, but she's born and brought up here. So Neha, what else? I mean, she's a fantastic pianist and a flute player. If I have to kind of talk about her in one word, she wants to be a perfectionist, and she's also one of the most reliable persons that I've met, and I'm very proud to say that she's my daughter because when I wanted to talk to you guys, right, I said, Neha, you're 19 years old. I mean, these kids here are going to be the same age. What do you think is going to resonate with them? She didn't blink an eye. She has so many things going on. She readily agreed to give me her inputs and perspectives, which I appreciate. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to ask Neha to say hi. It's probably 4:30 in the morning for her in Illinois. So she's joining from her apartment there. Neha.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I mean, I would love to answer any questions you have. Obviously, my perspective is just limited to the US, and I don't know what I can say to a bunch of other people of the same age, but
If you have
Well,
any questions, she'll try and answer.
well, I don't have any, like formal questions, but I want to know, like, what do you think about India from there? I mean, you're born and brought up in India, and the perspective is totally different. So, what do you think about India? Like, how connected are you with this country? So, I want to just,
Yeah,
like,
I think one of the best things I got to do was because my mom taught me dance and music growing up. That's been the main thing that's connected me to Indian culture, which I think is so great because it gives me so many different perspectives. I think when you're living somewhere like the US, where you're surrounded by so many different things and so many different people, I think it's really important to understand other people and get to know other people. So people are just so different. So being able to connect with my culture, it gives me new perspectives, and it doesn't just let me be boxed in. Oh, I live in this small area with, these people. I get to see the world and understand the world. So I'm never, just one thing.
right, I get it. I get it. Well, I don't know to ask this question to you or to ma'am, but anyway, so I've heard that people in USA are very outgoing, and also you talked about the communication skill. So what if a person is so introverted, or it's not like he's not speaking much, and how, like, can we survive there, or we should come out of this shell, or like, can you elaborate with the communication skill, like how you developed it from here to there? So.
Yeah, I can take this question. I think especially it's more relevant, right, for someone coming from India to here. I think it's very important. I think whether, regardless of whether you're in the US or India, I think it's always good to improve your communication skills, right? To be able to break down things, to be able to, talk about concepts, to be able to clearly, talk about what it is that you want to do. It's not an easy skill. And, yeah, introverts, it's much harder. I consider myself a very, outgoing, friendly person. But, am I this person that, is super comfortable doing everything else that people in this country do? Not really. I barely, I do what I do best. But to be able to, because I chose to live in this community, I have kids that are here. So I take that as a challenge to just, to see how to blend in or to see how to improve my communication skills, how to fit in. So wherever you are, right, I think it's important. It's not about US or India. I think wherever you are, it's important. The more you're able to speak clearly, articulate your thoughts better, I think you're in a better place, and I think you'll be poised for success. I would definitely, that's just my perspective. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Neha.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm a very introverted person, but I think communication and how you interact with the world, they can coexist. So even though I'm not the first person to speak up in a group, or I don't super feel comfortable around big groups of people, I think it's still a skill you can develop, and something you can still be good at, even if it's not something that it's the first thing that you do or gravitate towards.
So just so you know, this is the last thing Neha would have done, but I told her, are you okay to come and offer your perspectives? And she came out of her shell. This is not normal for Neha. She wouldn't just come and start speaking to people, but this is not normal. But she came out of her shell, and she wanted to participate. So just make those small steps, right? Somebody offers that opportunity, take those steps. That's what I go back to my opportunities theory, right? This is an opportunity for her to come out of that shell, and you need to do that. So
Yeah, I appreciate it, Neha, to take the step and be here.
It's very kind of you. I have one question to Neha now. Like, Neha, I really appreciate your plats, because being a kid in America, you are plaiting your hair. That's very wonderful of you. Okay, nice, good. So I do understand that you're sticking to your culture. Now, my question to you is: do you find any American kid, like our own Indian kids, not knowing what their passion is of your age? Because I know you are very good at dance and music. You've been trained by your mom, right? Now, do you know your friends or anybody else, like, who are not searching their passion, or like, I don't understand how your group is behaving, or like, because my students are not asking questions, so I think they're also very introvert. And except Ajita and Ashita, I'm not seeing many people asking questions. So I'm asking you on their behalf.
Yeah, I think everyone is always searching for their passions. I do a lot of things and I'm interested in a lot of things, but I still haven't pinned down exactly what I want to do. Even in my education, I picked a major. I basically just picked a major and I said, I hope it works out. And so I'm still trying to figure out. One of my friends, just yesterday, um, she was saying how she was so worried. She was like, is computer engineering the right thing? Why am I doing this? It feels so difficult. What is it going to accomplish? Should I quit and should I become an art major? She was going on this long thing yesterday, and it's everyone goes through it. I think nobody knows. There's so many people who halfway through college just start a new major, and I think it's good because it means you just keep looking. If the first thing that you chose isn't the right thing, then try something new, and everyone does that. And I think everyone gives us the ability to do that. No one expects us to know exactly what we want to do right away, and I think that's a good thing.
So all of you are into your new college and experimenting. Nice. So I think we do have students like that of your age doing the same thing, because I was little worried whether only Indian kids only don't understand what they require and American kids are very clear in their thoughts. No, so I'm really happy that both East and West are having the same balance of mind.
Well, I can come to a point that
Wherever you
only.
are.
Yeah, continue. No problem.
No, I was just saying kids are kids wherever they are, right? I mean,
Exactly. It's just the time difference.
they're all wherever. Just the time difference. Everybody goes through the same set of struggles.
Yeah.
And something magical happening here, suddenly that everybody figures it out at the age of 16. No, they're still figuring out. I mean, even, at 25, they're still trying to figure out, whether something is working or not. So don't, if you didn't find that thing, or if you don't know what you want to do next, you're not alone. But you just need to keep trying. You have to keep looking. I think that's important. So
Yeah, I get it, ma'am. Okay, so I would go on asking questions, but I'm leaving to my classmates. Anyone, guys, you can ask any questions to the ma'am.
Yeah, hi, ma'am. Parshita here.
hi.
Thank you so much for the session, and I guess it really inspired all of us, and especially me, because I learned violin for 2 years, and because of all the studies and all, I just put that a bit apart. But after listening to your thing, I really think I should include that in my ongoing life.
Yes,
Along
I
with
will consider that my success this morning if you start, playing your violin again. I seriously think that's awesome. That's wonderful.
yeah. So I've been there for like 2.5 years. I've learned violin, and my teacher was really, really very nice. She was a 80-year-old lady, and she still had that passion to teach and all. So I used to have personal sessions with her, and it's all recollecting. And I really want to go back and take my violin and learn it now again. And thank you so much for that. And
Absolutely. I will hold you to it. I'll ask Gayatri later on. If you did
Definitely, you will get a very good immediate reply, because one Varshita, because college starts from February 8th. So the first question that will be asking on a day-to-day basis: have you done your violin practice today? And I'll keep updating you.
That's awesome. That's very good. That's amazing. Keep that going, Varshita. Don't stop. Okay. I did that mistake. I thought, just one of the things was more important than the other. I think it's important to be well-rounded. I mean, especially if you liked it, keep some, you don't have to go and do it, all 5 days a week. At least, keep it going once a week. That's fine. That's enough. You can come back to it at some point. Maybe you can
yeah,
continue.
ma'am. You're right. You're right. It's always a
Yeah.
sense of relief when I actually play violin. I just very peaceful, and I like it.
Absolutely.
Because all that I was very packed and all, I couldn't adjust time for that. But sure, I'll make sure that I will adjust time for that. I'll make sure I play violin, and I'll keep updating for sure.
Yeah. Send me YouTube links of your performance. I'd love to see.
And
maybe I'll practice.
Yeah.
knowing Sangeeta very well, I just want to add one more point, because she gives a very small, very minute detail. Also, she cares so well. The meticulous planning, because for this meet, she has been managing what she had read in the profile. She had been managing $1 million projects, all these things. But she had come for a trial session yesterday, because it was her. Should be your my night time, her morning time, before she could attend her official meeting. She came for a trial session. Today, you will not believe, she changed her computer, but she wanted to, even the new computer, even though US is considered to be a technically a sound country, developed country, she has very good gadgets. She came on a trial session in the new system, the new computer. That kind of perseverance, dedication, and caring to the minute details, also the caring to the detail for that eye for details. What you can say. I know her because I've been knowing her for many years. But I know her, but she is the same, even in this age. That is the most nice thing, right? Like, because you can like see many people role models like this because their dedication, the perseverance, what she told, she's been practicing. So these are the things, the values that you students, children should be inculcated. So I think Neha, you would have grown up seeing all these characters in your mother, right? Yes.
Absolutely. I'm like,
Okay.
how can I do it all? Do I have to do it all as well?
Nice.
I think it's up to you to grab whatever you want from your mama. I don't know. Well, I really appreciate the efforts. I think it's the dedication which we give to, these small sessions. It's not small, whatever you consider it's big for you. So I really appreciate your efforts and the dedication for this meet. It really impacted a lot for everyone. So
That's great. I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know the boys are awfully quiet there. I don't know if you know any of five. Maybe I should have had my son wake up, but he's 16. He was not going to wake up at 5 in the morning. So maybe they would have liked to hear from him. But I don't know if the boys have any questions or any perspectives. There is wisdom that can be gained at any age. So if you guys have anything to offer, please do. I'd love to hear from you.
Hi, hello. Am I audible,
Hi,
by the way?
Abhishek.
Hi, ma'am. Hope you're doing good. And first, apologies that I'm on the travel back to my home from a PG college. So I'm so sorry for that one. There would be some
Oh, no, it's all
noises
good.
from behind. And first thing which I'm going to do it right now is like I'm going to get your contact from my HOD, who's Gayatri ma'am. So I was a passer from this college, and I make sure that you're going to spend another 1 hour from your busy schedule in the current college which I'm pursuing. So it was definitely an eye opener for me, and I wish it should be a few more. I mean, it should add few more people. So I wish you to have, and I'm giving you an invite to my the PG college right now itself. So very soon we wish to have you on board in my new college as well.
That's
And
awesome. Congratulations. I mean, that's a big step. That's awesome. What are you going to study?
I'm doing my PG post graduation diploma in management, and I'm doing my marketing as my core.
Oh, fantastic. Very nice. Very nice. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. And I'm a pass out of BCom Accounting and Finance, and I also take this opportunity to thank Gayatri ma'am for not forgetting me, for giving me the invite also. And it was definitely an eye opener for me because I learned classical art, and I purely come from an Orthodox Hindu family. So I learned Kunakul, I learned
Oh,
Gatham,
fantastic.
then I learned classical music. I learned till Kirtane, Varnam, till Varnam. So I left during as a phase of education. So I left almost everything, and I was also jumped into different sports. So it was all like the nostalgia moment for me when you were telling like even though you were in 40 and you are able to get back everything. So today I learned one lesson. So every day is a learning for me. And today I learned that I have to grab all the one which I left earlier.
That's awesome. And you know what, Abhishek, I'm going to tell you, I came last year to India and I performed a full-fledged music kacheri in two places. The next time I come, you're going to play Gattam for me. The next time I'm in India. Okay. So I'm gonna get your number and I'm gonna make sure that I stay in touch with you and you play Gattam for me. So that's going to be your next homework or exercise from me.
It was
And
long
same
ago,
as
but
Arshita, you're gonna play violin for me someday, okay? After you start your practices back. So I'm gonna remember.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. We'll make that too.
and as a
And
part of question, there is only one question which I have. So you told that India had some pros and cons. Well, the Western country where you're staying right now also has some pros and cons. But for the sake like 20, 30 years, was I'm done with everything. So I have to return back to my the retired life. So which country you gonna prefer? It is the India or the Western country? I mean, like not in terms of earning.
exactly, I asked the
So
same question to Mrs. Sangeeta yesterday. You won't believe this. I asked her, are you going to come to Chennai Sunday or going to sit there itself?
So I would love to come back to India. And my husband, more than me, would drop everything and he would move back to India in a heartbeat. Okay. The only thing that might stop us is our kids. They don't know anything other than this country. Okay. So they're going to be here. Maybe until I'm in my 60s, maybe I can go back and forth between India and US. I don't know after that if I can make the trip back and forth to go see my kids. So that's the only thing that's going to stop me. I think so I'll tell you, when in 2007, I had this opportunity to actually come to Bangalore for 6 months to hire a team of people for my project in New York City. So I met a lot of college graduates there. They all, graduated from young kids, I think I was also fairly young. I was, 30, 32, something like that. But all these young kids, and I took both my kids and went there, and my parents came and watched my kids, and my husband traveled at that time, and he loved it so much. He's like, Sangeeta, let's just find a place here and settle back in Bangalore. Let's not go back. And I think we had thought about it. I mean, it's not like, we think about it every day because we miss family, friends, everybody back there. I mean, like when I was 21 and young, I had no idea what to expect, right? I mean, okay, job, do I want to travel? I didn't know. Nobody was there in this country to serve as a, to give me any kind of guidance and say, don't go or stay or whatever it is. I said, okay, I'm going to go experience a new culture and start off that way. But I'd love to come back. I still travel back quite often and spend, time doing stuff that I want to do in India. I think I would have been better off in India probably in terms of, keeping in touch with, culture and dance and music and all that stuff. But I think the only thing that will stop me from, moving back permanently is my kids. Other than that, I think we would move in a heartbeat. Yeah, it won't stop us at all.
So I personally wish to see you in another 10 more years. I mean, no, 20 more years, I guess. Yeah, 20 more years over here in Chennai, maybe, most probably. And I see if you can even conduct more than a workshop kind of stuff also, it would definitely inspire people because at the age of 40, I'm being really inspired. Uh, so 20-year-old meeting, and also to note that amidst like too much of webinars we are actually into. So every day, probably a single webinar would definitely happen. And what every day the same webinar, it is really a hectic man. And today was something different. The last 1 hour was actually amazing. It was like I was like literally watching like a movie. So maybe if I can even see this as a movie, I would even sit more than 3 hours. So hats
Oh,
off, ma'am.
you're so sweet.
Talking about movies, let me tell you about Sangeeta. She would have seen the latest, what is going to be released tonight on Netflix, she would have seen. Can you believe that? She is into watching movies also, she is no lesser than anyone.
Hey, now I watch movies in 2 languages, okay? Because I cannot sit and watch Tamil movies with my husband. So I watch my Tamil movies myself. And then I, sit and watch Hindi movies with him. So
No, why I had to tell this is because she is even updating her knowledge in movies also, because she's a very big movie buff also, and see, finding the time. That's what she spoke about everything. And I'm really happy that talking about Abhishek, he was a very, he was a chairman in 2017-20 batch that time. So, and he's a very brilliant student. And I'm really happy that these brilliant students have got some inputs to take their action. Like, not that they are only brilliant, others are also brilliant. But I think that people wouldn't have found their passion, but he was able to take the leadership qualities he had that, and he was able to do many more constructive activities for the college, and he is into his MBA degree. So I'm really happy that he joined, and he has promised that he will take up his brush up and take up all his artistic skills, and Machika also. I'm really happy. Like if a few at least get inspired, that is our success for the.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would be super awesome. I would love to hear this.
And I'm really happy that Neha also told that we do have confused kids there also. I'm really happy about that. Because I was really worried that only.
No, I think there are a lot of confused kids here. Absolutely.
No,
I
I'm
mean, there
really
is
happy
no
about that.
birth of confused kids here.
No, I was under that myth that only Indian children don't know what they want. American children are very clear. And okay, I'm really happy because she told that she's in her second year kid into computer engineering is confused as to why she took that. I'm really happy hearing that. Maybe not for the kid, but okay. Like, see, we do have children here who want to discontinue and go in the second year of graduation. So we feel pathetic. We have somehow convince them, cajole them, counsel them, and tell them that they have to continue. Like these are the problems everywhere, universal problems. Good. I'm really happy to hear that from Neha's mouth.
I'm really happy to see confused kids all around the world. Oh my god. Okay. Well,
That's the lesson for, February 5th morning, that's all we have to be.
I know. Yeah. Kudos to confusion. Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
Others can also ask questions, please, because see, you have a mother and a daughter. Mother having an experience in India and abroad, daughter fully abroad. So, any kind of study questions, anything that you want to ask, quickly, please ask.
well, I don't know if it's what to say, if it's relevant to the topic, but I'm kind of more interested in Europe than in the North America. So, what do you think about this? Like, yeah, it's totally different in every country, but do you have any idea? Like, I feel like it's just acceptance within us, to take barriers, pros and cons in any country. So, what do you think about Europe and?
So why Europe? What is driving you to Europe? I'm going to ask you that question. All I've done is actually, I've never worked in Europe. I've only traveled there a couple of times. So I think it's more like India in terms of environment and everything. But what is Europe?
Yeah,
my
exactly.
first
I mean, I like the culture there. I really am into, I'm really studying there, and I'm gonna take a new French course to, learn the language. So yeah, I'm kind of passionate about France actually. I really am in love with the movies of France. So yeah, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but yeah. So yeah, so that's why I'm just asking like how it's to travel all around because there are many barriers. I need to, it's a rebel to actually travel to another country, so from India. So I'm just asking like how it's to just take the step there and
I think it's fine. I mean, I think if you want to explore that, there's nothing stopping you. I think, different country is a different country. I mean, I think there's a lot of cultural difference wherever you go, right? Outside of, forget about going outside of India. Talk about within India, right? You go from Chennai to Delhi, there is a big cultural difference, right? Me to from my husband is from the north. A lot of cultural differences. You're going to see cultural differences wherever you go. I mean, you just have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to experience a new place, a new culture, expect the unexpected, and then know how to react. Right? Not everything is going to go the way that we were taught, to be with. Things are going to be different. Something is different. I think, our education in India has given us, probably enough skills to deal with any kind of situation. I truly believe in that, right? I don't know if the other way is true, if I can put a, American kid in India and say you survive. No, but I think we can take our Indian kids and put them anywhere in the world, and I think they'll do fantastically well.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I truly believe in that. Okay. Because I think just the concept of adaptability, right? So no matter where you go, whether it's the US or Europe or wherever it is, just know that there are going to be unexpected things, and you just need to be able to shift that mindset.
Right.
I'm doing that today. I mean, I've been in this country longer than I have lived in India, but I'm still, going through that shift in different phases of my life. As a student, as a as a professional, as a wife, as a mother, as a teacher. There is so many shifts in thought process that happens, and you just need to be prepared for that. If otherwise, I don't think there's anything stopping you from going anywhere. So explore. I mean, if that's something that you do, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Go explore. And if you don't like it, that's okay. Take a flight and come back to Chennai. Chennai is awesome. So
Of course, it is also.
So nothing wrong with that, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for answering.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I just wanted to ask only one question because others are not asking, so I will grab the opportunity. Now, you told me that when you're, because they wouldn't have worked, students are, most of them are students here. So my question to you is, you told that
Oh,
you have to be vociferous, you meetings. Do you mean to say that when you're silent, people will tell that you're weak, you don't know? Is it real? Because I think that you need to speak up only when it is your turn or when you need to talk to. When it is out of turn, like why should you be talking? Why should you? If they consider you weak, do you mean to say that they will discriminate? I don't understand this point actually.
I think I have learned to be a little bit vocal, more vocal than what I used to be, right? Even today, I don't, many people don't know, people either know me as a dance teacher or they know me as a professional. Nobody knows me as, two different things. They cannot even, fathom or perceive that this one person can have, can be doing two things. And I don't go talk about my stuff, but at work sometimes I have to be vocal. Otherwise, think about it. In this country, in the corporate world, I've survived for 23 years. Um, on the management side, in my wing of where I work, I'm probably one of the two Indians that is in that role. So, and if somebody has to believe and give me a multi-million-dollar project to handle, how are they going to know that I can handle it? I can think in my head that I can handle it, but you need to be able to vocalize and verbalize, right? So I made that mistake for way too long, right? I would never talk about my skill set because I said, oh, talking about yourself, that's not good. Because that's not our culture. That's not our Indian culture, right? So I never did that. But very important, very, very important. Sometimes it definitely, in my case at least, it was construed as, as, maybe she cannot do things, that's just how it was. So I think it's important to speak up. Of course, not get into every single business and every single conversation and topic, but where you need to say, make your point, you need to make your point. Even in those cases, I wouldn't say anything, but no, I would offer my perspectives, and I will definitely be more vocal about things much more than what I was 20 years ago. So, um, I encourage you to do the same thing. I think it's always good. I mean, nothing is easy, right? I mean, I'm not a public speaker or anything like that, but I teach kids. I teach, and then I do, go and lecture at universities here. But that's not my, primary training. But I work on it. I try to work on it, and I try to, become better at it, um, and also try to vocalize what I want to say. So it's important. I think it's important. I wouldn't say just, sit and let other people, like, I said, karam karo, fal ki ichha mat karo, and just, stay silent and expect somebody to come and give you a promotion and say, hey, Sangeeta, here you go. Now you're going to be the next, leader of this particular product line. Nobody's going to do that. You have to be able to express, not to everybody in the world, but where it's necessary, you have to put yourself out there, and say, hey, I'm capable of doing this, and these are my accomplishments, and this is how I want, and this is why, right? Just don't go and say, give it to me because I deserve it. No, nobody deserves anything. You need to have the skill sets, and you need to be able to put in that time. So I truly believe that you have to be vocal. I mean, I think it was definitely a problem for me, still is, because I still cannot talk about myself, right? Annual evaluation, performance evaluations at work, I think it's a joke, but then, you have to write your own self-evaluations. And then, then my VP will go and, give me, evaluations. I'm like, self-evaluation, what the heck is that? How do I tell what I did? But now I keep a journal, and I have to, definitely talk about things that I did. because sometimes, people don't know. You have to say it. You have to put it out there. So still hard, but I'm trying. I'm trying every day.
That's a nice learning because the students may shift abroad and they may also get into a work culture there. But that was a nice tip from you because you've been working for so many years, and this was one of the findings that you happened to come across and shared it. Thanks a lot for the share.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because it was a new learning for me, because I was believing that, like, you will know me through my actions. So I thought I shouldn't be, like, expressing myself. You'll know me from who I am through my actions. But I think I should incorporate this in my,
No,
hereafter.
I think that's what made me angry in the first 4 or 5 years of my life.
Mhm.
How come they don't know what I'm doing? I'm doing this so well every single day. And nobody's realizing what I'm doing. Uh, but nobody does. You have to say things in the right forum, right? And I think that's something that you have to keep in mind. When you go into your professional career, whether it's in India, abroad, wherever, just make
Yeah.
sure that you your accomplishments and make sure you say it in the right forum.
Mm. Yeah. The world is moving fast and we need to make our,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Right. Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's key.
It's deep. Wow. US language. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, go ahead with any questions. Come on.
I have a question for Neha, with your permission. Yeah.
Of course. Please.
Yeah, picking up points from Sangeeta ma'am, she told us you were an introvert. So I just want to know what made you to come for the meet. Like all of us are unknown people. I guess maybe you should know only Gayatri ma'am, but all of us are really really unknown people, and overcoming your weakness is really important, and it's always a better start for life. Yeah. So I really want to know what made you to come for the meet today.
That was a very cute question, Varshita. I like that question. Okay.
Yeah, like my mom has said, I think it's really important to take opportunities. I really like learning about new opportunities and seeing things from other people's perspective. Obviously, me living in the US, some of these things are things I've grown up knowing, and other things it's cool to learn what different people see as new things, right? What's a given to me isn't necessarily a given to everyone else. So for me, this is a learning opportunity just as much as I hope it is for everyone else. And so I want to be able to interact with different people, and I thought this was a good opportunity to do that.
Thank you so much. Really, it was really inspiring for all of us too. That is another point which I need to add for today also. Some new learning for me, that to overcome what your weakness is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. And also to note on that success, I really want to note on it again. You made that point very clear. Like success is from within. What you feel, what inner satisfaction it is. Yeah, so thank you so much for all those inputs, and I guess we'll learn all this and we'll put up in our day-to-day things, and it goes smoothly for us. Thank you, ma'am.
I sure hope so. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Any other question from the boys? It looks like a women empowerment program. Except Abhishek, nobody has spoken here. No other questions from the boys?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Hi, Krishna. How are you?
Fine, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't know what to ask because you just explained everything in that 40-minute speech, ma'am. I just have to ask something apart from that. Gayatri ma'am was telling that we have to ask questions. There is nothing to ask you because you explained everything in that 40 minutes.
I cannot believe that. I'm sure you have some questions to ask.
Okay, ma'am. In future, next year we're gonna enter into the corporate world. So even we will also face all the consequences which you faced. There may be ups and downs. How to face that ups and downs, ma'am? Sometimes we may be like lack of confidence. Sometimes we will be like crushed. There is be no way of turning back. What that time we just have to do, ma'am. And the second question is, if I leave India, the thing which I miss a lot is Indian foods. especially pani puri. Chat, especially pani. What do you miss a lot?
Oh, I'm a foodie too, but I married a North Indian here, so I double up on food. I eat South Indian Chennai food, dosa idli, and then I also eat puri, chole bhature, and all that stuff. So that's worked out for me. I think in my favor. And my husband is also, he's a wonderful cook. So I, kind of, we balance each other out in the food department. Though, I never miss an opportunity to come back to Chennai and eat. I mean, it's like I probably gain like 10 pounds when I get back just because I'm eating everything that I can find. So that part, is definitely hard for me too, Sai Krishna. It's not easy for me, okay? I miss
Sai
the food.
Krishna should learn cooking. To tell that he has to learn to cook from tomorrow.
No, I think everybody here has to learn to cook. There is nobody here that does not know to cook. I mean, I think everybody, boys, girls, whatever, children, everybody needs to know how to cook here. There is no, nobody coming, and I don't go and give, food on a plate to my kids. I really don't. Sometimes I'm so busy, my kids will make something and they will eat, and they'll also leave some food for me. So I'm very lucky in that way. So they're not expecting me to give them food all the time. Though, the feeling is mutual. I think getting back to your first question, if there are ups and downs, if something does not work, right? Again, I go back to trying to figure out, take a step back, try to understand what it is that did not work, right? What is it that is stopping you, right? If you're not confident about something, you understand what that weakness is. It's more important to understand your weaknesses because you can work on it, right? Understanding that is the first step. Once you understand that, then you try to figure out what it is that you can do to improve it, right? There is, again, I hate to say it, but it's practice. What is it that you're lacking confidence in? Is it lacking confidence in talking to somebody? Then, talk for an hour in front of the mirror every single day until you're able to talk. Or is it lacking confidence because you're going into the corporate world and you want to be a Java programmer and you don't know how to code in Java? Take a course, spend some time on it, download this application and try to code. I'm sure you're all accounting kids, and I don't know the challenges of accounting kids, but just understand your weakness and invest the time in improving that, even if it's a tad bit on a daily basis, and you will gain that confidence. And don't be in a hurry. Patience is important. Nothing happens easily. Like I said, there is, it's not like today, take the example of dance, right? There are some kids that come to me and they think that the kids should be, dancing the Tilana tomorrow. I learned dance for 13 long years, okay? And I still have to practice, right, to do what I need to do. So nothing happens in an instant, but it's like those small, improvements over every single day that can get you to where you need to get to. You probably don't want to hear that answer from me, but that is the only way to get there, right? And like I said, also, find friends that can support you, right? Find family members, because sometimes when you're really down, you need to be able to talk to somebody about it freely without somebody having to judge you. If you go and say something and you go and say, oh, I cannot, I have this weakness and I don't know what to do, you don't want people laughing at you. You want people that will support you and say, hey, Sai Krishna, it's okay, what you need to do is steps A, B, and C. Find people like that. Those are the kind of people. You don't need 500 friends. You need like 3 friends that can help you. If you don't have the 3 friends, invest time in finding those 3 friends. I think that's going to take you much farther in whatever your pursuits are. That's just, what I think. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's my best, answer to this. There's no easy magic wand for anything. And if you're crushed for any reason, get up and start walking. What's the big deal? What is the worst that can happen? Right? The worst is when you don't want to get up and you give up. The best is if you just give up and fall again, that's fine. At least you made that step toward getting to where you need to get to. So it's important.
That's
Yeah.
super nice, very nice. Because what I liked about you telling us work on the weakness and find a good support system, quality friend, not quantity in numbers, but
Yeah, yeah.
yes, that really because a shoulder to lean on in your tough times, right? I think the students should be like having that kind of a support system. But anyway, that they should see whether that support system is really like it is going to not be long lasting, leading them in the right. Because you see friendships that pull you down also, right? Because see for people of our age. We know what is right, what is wrong, and we have a good support system. Like family, we have married people, everything we will. But children, I don't think. Like, how does Neha build her support system? Because I think she can answer. Because like apart from family, like, is it the only the family she's going to tell us a support system, Neha? Is it the only thing you will say?
No,
Because I think
absolutely.
I want to put a point. She's living independently. Her mother is in a different place. She's in a different place. She's of your age. The situation and the studies, education, everything demands that she has to be separately alone in a separate house, renting out an apartment. So she's staying
Yeah,
separate.
not a dorm, not a hostel, a separate house in which, separate apartment that she is managing on her own, doing everything from morning to night all by herself. I wasn't sure if that was going to work out or, how she's going to be, but she's been doing that. Yeah, good point. So talk about your support system. What is it?
Yeah, I think you need different supports from different places because my parents help me with so many things, but they can't help me with everything because they're not my age. Their experiences are so different. So when I moved to college, I moved across the country for college. So it was really important to find friends and find friends who I could go to for homework for just to talk to or just to hang out with because it's no good to just be on your own. Ever since we went fully online, it's been so important to still have those people to reach out to. If I didn't have friends going into quarantine, it would have been so difficult because who do you turn to then? You can't no one person can give you everything.
So you had a good friends like supporting you there, right? So you mean to say that you have built up a new support system in your new place, or you've been catching up with the school friends or whatever it is, high school friends, or like
Both of it. I think there's a lot to be, it's great to catch up with people from when you were younger because they know you growing up, they know how you've changed, and they can feel, happy for your successes in a different way. Oh, you would have never done this when you were younger, but you've grown out of that shell and you've done something new. But then my new friends in college, they haven't known me like that. So everything that I do is just this new thing that they can feel happy for, or new thing that they can learn about me, and new things I can learn about them. So I think it's important to keep all your friends along the way, even if you grow apart a little bit. But also making new relationships is really important.
nice. So school friends should be traveling with you in your journey throughout. Nice.
Yes, because school friends don't want any, what to say, you don't want to explain things. They just know it if you tell something to them. So they are like lifetime friends for us. Yeah,
That's true.
I get it. And also, I believe
And
that,
importantly, they're not judgmental. They don't judge you.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, connections, peer system, support system is something which we really need, to function. So yeah, thank you, Neha. Anyone else, guys? Any more questions?
Well, two guys spoke today. That's awesome. I'll consider that my success.
You have a lot of success today, ma'am. So yeah. Well,
I'm really wondering why other boys, because they have many students asking many questions, like asking about the West. My knowledge is limited, right? So I think they could have as well opened here, but I don't know why they're not, because they have a good pair here, mother daughter, both in they can explain their perspective, anything and everything. They are not shunning their weakness. That's what I can say.
Maybe they're just overwhelmed with information all of a sudden in the 48-minute session. So yeah.
We should think so.
Yeah, I should think so.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Vinodini. Good
Hi,
morning, by
Vinodini.
the way.
Were you the one that was singing? You were really good, by the way.
Oh my God,
Thank
how
you.
sharp
Thank you,
Sangi you are.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, I want to say this. Actually, you were saying that you started with 3 kids. I started taking classes. Then now you're taking classes for a lot of kids. I'm taking classes for 2 kids right now. Carnatic music. And after what you said, so actually it really inspired me. Okay, so I can do this. Okay, apart from my job, I can also focus on this. Actually, it really inspired me a lot. But ma'am, actually, my question is for Neha. So I want to ask her a question. And Neha, good morning, by the way.
Good morning or good
Okay,
evening.
so my question is, okay, as I said that you are living independently, so how are you managing expenses? Are you going for a part-time job or how?
Yeah.
That's the
I
question.
mean, yeah, so I'm really lucky that I have my parents supporting me. That's my immense privilege to not have to worry about that as much. So for me, I've been able to focus on, I'm still working over summers and sometimes over the school year as internships to get work experience, to figure out exactly what I'm interested in. I'm doing computer engineering, but what exactly I want to do with that. So it's still though important to learn how to manage those expenses. I'm not trying to drain my parents' entire bank account, right? So it's learning how much things costs and where to go when you need to get a certain thing. It's still a learning experience. I only moved in 2 weeks ago, so it's still something that I'm learning, and turning to my other friends. I have other friends whose parents aren't necessarily supporting them, who are maybe paying for college with loans, and that's something they're going to have to pay back eventually. So learning from them, oh, where do you get this? How do you manage this? You can learn from other people as well, definitely.
Really nice. Thank you so much, Neha.
So well, to talk about me, I'm in a hostel actually, and I live with like 4 girls in a room. So yeah, I used to know how they are working, and I've been in the lockdown with my parents, so I came to know how the financials were working in my home. And yeah, that's something we like when people express their stories and experiences from them, we could learn or impact us in a very deep level. So yeah. So, anyone else, guys? Okay. Okay, just one final question from me. So from this pandemic, I mean, you were talking about work ethics there and here. So well, many people were losing jobs all around the world. So what was it to be like there? How, like, did you have the job security? Like in, okay, right.
No, I think you're never, secure with your job here, right? I mean, it's all at will employment. I think you can be out of a job in an instant, right? So a similar case here, so many people without jobs. I mean, I was just blessed and lucky that, we won a project last April for the state of Ohio, which I'm managing. So which was very lucky, but not everybody was lucky. I mean, a lot of people are affected. A lot of people are still getting affected. A lot of businesses have closed down. A lot of industries have closed down. It's really, really not good to see that, especially with people getting sick and not having jobs. It's very hard. It's very hard to see all of that. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that with I guess the vaccines and everything, and things will come back, and I'm hoping that everything will spring back with double the rigor of where it was at before. It's going to take time. I mean, I think a lot of impacted people everywhere, right, all over the world. It's just sad state of affairs. But nowhere there is no, there's no job satisfaction. Not job satisfaction. I mean, like job security is what I was talking about. There is none in any place.
Right.
But I think you just have to understand that what would I for me, like what would have happened if I lost my job. Am I going to be okay? I think you have to keep thinking about that in all aspects of your life, right? What are the things that you can do? Is it going to crush you? Are you not going to have money to pay your bills for the next 6 months? You have to kind of plan all of that, right?
Plan B, backup plans.
Yeah, you just have to. I mean, not always does it work. I get that. But, some level of planning to make sure that you can still get up and walk if something happens to you. You don't have a job, and, especially when you have a family and kids, you want to make sure that you have some some plans, right? So yeah, it's the same everywhere. No
Right.
places. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Karthik.
Ma'am, this is Karthik. So it was so wonderful hearing your words of wisdom. Actually, it inspired me in many of the things, and it made me look back at a few moments. I just have one question. So at times, I know you've been through a wonderful journey. It would have been difficult at times, the fears of grabbing the opportunity or coming forward to do a particular task. At that times, how will you motivate yourself? Now, even if self-motivation is the best thing, they say, but sometimes I feel down at times, when I'm not even able to take up the opportunity to come forward and do the things. So I just need a clear idea about how to move forward or proceed with that. And what was you can share your experience, ma'am.
I'll tell you even today, Karthik, right? I struggle every day with time. Okay. I struggle every day with, do I want to do my job and my dance classes? It's a very real struggle in terms of time. Tell you this, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I do a full day of work, okay? And then I teach 2 classes in the evening. I finish work, I have 15 minutes to change to Indian clothes and maybe have a cup of tea. And then I teach 2 classes. Now, I've been teaching for 10 years. So most of my kids are older kids, they are most your age. So I have to prepare for my dance classes, not just for my work, okay? Where does that time come from? I take time out of my sleep. And yesterday I finished work at 8:45 p.m. Okay, this is my normal. After that, I prepare for classes. I prepare stuff every day. I struggle with this. I struggle with time. But again, I think for me, it's just something that I want to do. Not because it's easy, not because I have to do it. Nobody tells me that I have to run dance classes and teach so many kids. But it is something I want to do. If you don't want to do something, don't do it, right? For example, if somebody gave me $1 million to do something that I didn't want to do, there's no way I'm going to do it. But, this motivates me, so I do it. It's hard. It's not easy. It's from outside, it's all easy, right? Outside, it's like, you can do this also, you can do that also. People always tell me, oh, how is that? You must have so much help. I don't have help. I don't have help. I don't have parents, living with me. When they come, they help, of course. But it's not like I have, all this great help that happens. But, it's just, I keep thinking every day, I can do this. I want to do this. And I keep going. So that's my same advice to you. The situations are different, right? Your situation might be different. But today, this whole week, I have probably slept 2 hours every night. Because everything, and if somebody wanted me to come and, come and speak today, I don't want to be coming without a plan and a purpose, right? I don't want to come here and just say something which is not meaningful for you kids. I know, if I said something like that to Neha, she wouldn't appreciate it, right? If I just came unprepared to something. So it's that. If you want to do something, do it. Find a way to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Right? And if something is hard, tell yourself you can do it. And it's hard. Every day for me is hard. I am not going to lie about it. It's not a bed of roses. It's very hard. But I do it because I want to do it. I like I said, I work all 7 days a week. Many people do. I mean, there are people, working longer than I do. So, hats off to them and, big namaskarams to them. But it's not easy. Everybody's situation is different, right? Because all the time you think, oh, you're the one working so much. No, that's not my point, right? Everybody probably works much harder than I am. But just motivate yourself. If something is not working, try to find the time to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I feel more successful by asking you this question.
No, that's good. That's awesome. See, now the third
So I just
voice.
came forward by your word, the way you told us, the way you explained us, it created a major impact.
And putting their videos on. I have to tell this, no, because for the online classes, they don't put their videos on, you know.
Oh.
So that is a big success, as he said.
So thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Obviously, it's great that you came forward and asked something. That's always good. I'm sure I didn't address all the, everything that I wanted to say in 40 minutes. I can probably go on for another 2 hours or 3 hours. But, thanks for the questions, because I learn something from you guys too every day. So, you can learn from everybody, right? So.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time I'm actually seeing him. So that's a success you have to add.
Because she is in a different section and he is in a different section. All of us see only those DPs that you see here, right? That only all of us get to see. Okay. Nice. Very good, Kathy. Really happy.
Gayatri ma'am cannot be that scary for you.
I was not able to inspire and motivate him, right? You have done it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Ajita, I have a question. Ma'am, good evening.
Hi, Satya.
Sangeeta, ma'am, good evening, ma'am. Actually, for you, it is good morning. For you,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
it is good morning.
Hi.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you
Good
for the
afternoon.
wonderful session, ma'am. It was a wonderful discussion rather than a session, I would say. Of course, since you have started this session, I just want you to ask a question that, in my perspective, every woman has we should be bold enough or happy enough to say that we are best managers of all the things, right? Because we know how to manage our family, we know how to manage our workplace, we know how to manage our kids, even though the public sometimes we know all the thing. In that way, we are blessed always with the multitasking personality by birth, actually. So in that way, we should be proud. And one more that I just want to add is, most of the people today are, it comes over the generation too. Actually, we rarely accept our failures, because we'll identify the causes of failure, but we'll not accept it actually. That is the point where we lose the exact point where we are lacking, right? Because we find the things which we are lacking, but will not accept it. I know that I'm fear of speaking in front of others, but for example, I'm saying, but will not accept it. Only when we accept that, we'll be able to come. This is my one question. What are the ways which we can make us accept our mistakes or failures by ourselves before others are pinpointing that? That is one question. Another question is that, if do we lack any support system? We are trying to build the support system. If everybody will not get the support system, but if you're not able to build a good or successful supportive system, what else we can try off?
Okay, so I think even before I answer your first question, right, I completely agree with, I just want to make a small point, because there are a lot of boys listening here too, right? Yes, women, multitask and we do a lot of things, but I have to tell you that again, nobody succeeds alone, right? I've had very strong male influences in my life today, right? From the beginning, like I said, my dad was always there to support me.
Of
My
course, ma'am,
there.
sorry to
And
interrupt because
yeah,
I never told that. I am not completely saying that male or multitasking personalities, but the thing is, we are not noticed. That is why I want you just now told that we want to come out and speak. That's why that's the
yeah,
first step I told. I just want to
yeah,
reiterate that that's what we are naturally.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. No, that's
So,
true. Yeah, no, that's very true. I think, yeah, I think we need to make that effort. And then I think going back to your, what do you call it, the point about, how to accept your failure. It's not easy. Nobody wants to believe that, you're a failure at something or you cannot do something. Uh, it's not the most natural process. It is not an easy process. In fact, when somebody tells you that, you're not good at something or you failed at something, it hurts you, right? I mean, it hurts your ego. Why is somebody saying that? Is it easy to accept your own failures? I don't think it is. But if you don't accept your own failures and if you don't understand what those are, you can never come out of it. And you will be in a state of myth all the time, right? You'll be in a virtual reality, world. You will not be in the real world because it will not allow you to move forward. If you are able to accept that, which is extremely hard, it's extremely hard. But if you're able to do that, I think you can take baby steps and you can move forward, right? I think, again, no easy magic wand to do it. I think that's something that we need to step back, um, introspect and make sure that you understand what it is that you want to do, right? Maybe that failure can teach you something. I think the biggest failure is to not accept failures and move forward. I think if you can accept your failure, I think you've succeeded. I think then you can take a step forward and you can move on. Is what I think. No easy answer to, to that question, but you have to want to do it because it's going to be for the greater good, and that's why you want to have to do it, right? And you have to repeat the second question again for me one more time, if you don't mind.
Actually, I just want to add one more point for the first question, what I have asked, that is up to like the accepting of failures, right? Why I asked this question is because I, being the teacher of the past 5 years, I could find the students, they are not ready to accept the failures. And when we point out certain things they are lacking, once we know that because once they take up or hear what we are saying, that of course, we being the well-wishers of our students will say something that could improve them. But the thing is, they are not ready to accept. But when we praise them, they'll be very warm and they'll be very happy to hear that. At the same time, when we pinpoint the mistakes, it will hurt them a lot. I know. Even when my teachers scolded me or pinpointed my mistakes, even today, I'll be hurt for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we just want to, I just want to hear it from your mouth, actually, right? I got that point finally. You told that you have to sit back and think back what holded you back at this stage. That is only key point which you can the way to accept the failure.
And
That
I
is,
also, yeah, and I also think that, kids who are, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they always think that the 40-year-olds, or I mean, probably you're much younger than I am, but think that when we preach to them all the time, right? Don't do that because this was my experience. Don't do this, you cannot do it because it didn't work for me. I think just having two teenage kids myself, I've struggled with what to say and what not to say. That would, if I say, Neha, don't do this, that's not going to go well. Or you're not good at this, or you failed at this. Maybe trying to have a different way of saying it. Again,
yes, of course.
yeah, you also have to have the time to do all that wordsmithing, right? But maybe as parents, as teachers, you know find maybe we need to find, and that's something that we need to work on as adults. What is it that we can say differently to them which will jibe with them, rather than saying, it didn't work for me, so it's not going to work for you. That's not always the case, right? But that's how we tend to put that to them. So I think for us, I think this is a learning, right? Like, how is it that we can work on messaging that differently? Because maybe then that'll reach them a little bit better, right? Rather than preaching all the time and saying, don't do this, or
Nobody likes that also, ma'am. That's the thing.
nobody likes it, right? Even at this age, if
Yes,
somebody tells
even me, even you, everybody will be in that case.
nobody likes it. Yeah,
No
yeah, I think
exception in that case.
exactly. So I think, maybe, you, me, and, Gayatri ma'am can, work on.
No, exactly. I like that advice. We need to, as adults, we need to fine tune our skills, and we have to pass the message
Yeah,
rightly and
not
be
always.
right.
We need to be able to, connect with them at that level, right? Because we are 40. We think that, they understand our perspectives. No, I mean, they're young kids. They want to experience life. So give them a different perspective of what to think about and how to think about, right? Things. I think that helps. I think at least to some extent, maybe
I think
20% of the
as teachers here, I think we are all privileged to have students who I think they would have by now studied our characters so well that they know how to put things across so that we need not work much on our characteristics. They know how to put in what they want and get things done from us. So that
Yeah.
I think they're also very smart of this generation. I think so. It is
Oh,
mutual.
they're much smarter. I mean, I think every generation is so much more smarter, I think, than previous generations. I think this generation actually knows exactly what they want, than 2 generations ago, which itself is, which is great. I mean, they know what, at least they know what they don't want, which is good step forward too. So anyways, that's and you have to repeat your second question one more time. I'm sorry.
Ma'am, actually, this is my question, and the second question which I asked was one of my students' question. Actually, he's from
Okay.
first year, and he is in YouTube link. Actually, he has sent the question over there,
Okay.
and the question is like, if he's not able to build up, and sorry, his name is Srikantan actually, and
Okay.
if they are not able to build up a support system, what could be the way to build it? If they continuously fail, like a family support system, he means to say that it is a family support system, because being youngsters and in the teenage, they have a guidance, and they should have a guidance and support, moral support from the side of a family. If they are lacking in that perspective, what could be the other choice, and what is the way to come out of it? That was his question.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Srikantan, for that question. I think, you're probably 19 or 20, and, your parents have a different set of experiences, and they come from a completely different perspective, right? My perspectives are totally different than my daughter's, right? So sometimes when you say you want to do something, maybe they're not able to connect with what you're saying. They think something else is, something else is needed. For example, if I said I wanted to pursue dance as my full-time profession, I don't know if my parents would have understood that, right? Because, it was, you have studied so much, why would you want to take that as a profession? You want to be in some other profession. So think about it like that. If somebody is, if you're not able to find that support system, it's not because they don't love you, or it's not because they don't understand you. It's just because they have a completely different set of experiences and perspectives, right? Again, I think in that case, you have to work on trying to put your, message across as to why you want to do what you want to do, to make them see that, right? And if they don't, I think the other places, like I said, is friends, because, they're probably your own age. They're probably going through the same kind of, questions or challenges, or, confusions in life that you're going through, right? For me, like I said, hindsight is 2020. Everything is so clear, what I did in my 20, because, I'm old now. But, in your case, connect with people of your own age and try to talk to them, ask them questions. Maybe they give you different perspectives, right? I was not much of a reader of, I was not much into reading books or anything like that. But, reading the right kind of books also can give you, some perspective. If you're into reading stuff, I think that can give you perspectives. So reach out to those kind of, different media that's out there, which can give you, and you're here, listening to this topic. You didn't even know what to expect and what this lady was going to say, but you took a chance and you came here. That's good. Maybe it gave you a thing or two to go build your support system, right? So just remember that people want to do the best thing. They may not always understand you because they have different perspectives and different backgrounds. So you need to try and work on bridging that gap. Is my 2-cent advice. Anyway, so hopefully that clarifies a little bit for you.
Yes,
So
because
I think my message, the message that I got is, they have to, if they don't have a family support system, they have to lean on friends. They have to open up. That's very important. Very important. Before networking, you have to talk to people, because we find students, like when we ask anything, see, they don't even ask you questions. So everybody are not like that, but the majority of them don't ask, talk. But frankly speaking, seriously speaking, of when I was of their age, I was also not asking many questions. So I'm not going to blame them, because this maturity has come to me, so I'm able to talk everything from this chair and this age. Okay, so because we have experienced that problem, so I think only thing is we are sharing our experience. We had a problem, we didn't open up, so we didn't get many solutions. You are in this age, you will also have a problem. Please do talk to people. That's what we can say.
Yeah,
Right?
talking to people. Yeah, I think talking to people is the biggest thing, right? I mean, it can give you some direction, right? You talk to anybody, I think it can give you some direction. I think you can. It gives you some perspectives. I think it's important. I like that. Yeah, I definitely believe that.
True. Like whenever I get to think about something, my mind would go, oh my gosh, what my parents would think about this decision. Directly it would go there. So I think it's worth the fight, to talk if we are really into anything, whatever we do. So I think, yeah, the last stop would be acceptance from every side. So I think we should open up.
Yeah, you just have to try and try to understand the perspective from which they are coming, and don't think
Right.
they are enemies. Your parents are your best friends. It's not always that you see eye to eye. I think Neha and I probably fought more than any other mom and kid would. But I can say very confidently that, we are good friends now. I let her make her decisions. I don't tell her what to do, what not to do. But I always hope that I've given, not just, I'm not taking all the credit, it's my husband too. Both of us have given enough, grounding and the good knowledge that they will make good decisions in life, right? You cannot be with your kids all the time, right? But you have to believe that they will make the right decisions because of what you gave them, right? What culture you gave them, or what it is, how you brought them up. Yeah, we had our differences. We used to fight, but now we are good friends, right? I mean, I let her do what she wants to do, and I believe that she does, make the right decisions. So it is for you to build that trust. I mean, it's a two-way road, right? I mean, it has to come from parents also. And for me, more so because, I'm born and brought up in Chennai, coming here, looking at a different world, and, working with kids that are, in a different setting. It's not easy for me to always see eye to eye on all the issues. But I think just sit down and talk. If you want, if it's your parents, sit down and talk to them. They will be willing to listen to you. And don't make it a fight, right? Make it a constructive conversation. And if that doesn't work, obviously, keep working on it, and turn to friends, turn to other areas that you can, certainly rely on. And maybe then you have more informed decision. You can have a better conversation with your parents, because they're going to be there for life. I always say, no matter how old I am, I'm still a kid to my parent, right? No matter how old you guys are, you're still a kid to your parents. So they want only the best for you. Keep that in mind. Always, always keep that in mind, right? They don't want anything less than best for you. Always the best. So if you understand that, then you'll probably fight a little less than what you do with your parents today. So
Yeah, it's just a matter of conversation and understanding from both ways.
yeah. It's both ways, right? It's both ways, definitely.
Yeah. And it takes time to develop that trust and
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. It does. It does. Anything takes time.
yeah,
Right?
I think this is a support like from them for you and for them, like this is a support which you're getting, and that's what is actually functioning you know, like 7 days of work. If it was not for their support, I don't think it would have been easy for you to function. Yeah, so the
No.
inner circle support is very needed. Yeah,
It is very important. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, yeah.
So I think it's been 2 hours of amazing session. And we are seeing an amazing sunrise from Ohio right now from your windows.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it went from dark to light, finally.
Yeah, I was noticing that from the first.
See how sharp Indian students are.
Oh, no, I had no doubt. You thought I had any doubts? I never did.
Okay.
Smart kids.
Okay. That's
Very
what I
smart.
told.
Mom, Ma'am, Karthik, I just want to say one last thing. Now, I'm not, I just feel so much better so that I'll just come up with my opinions. And I used to have that conservative thinking, like every typical Indian, what others will think if I say this. But now I feel like I have the freedom and I'm going to speak. So it was
That's
just so
good.
inspiring. Really, like it was like an eye opener. The way you told us, and I just have no words to express my feelings right now.
So people from the West are respected here. See?
Should I be considered from the West or East?
No. But I really arrange this, because they think that people in the West are totally different or like what. So the main reason for me bringing is because you had been very successful here. You have been very successful there. You have a lot of experience there, and you also have children of that age managing that of their age. So that's the reason for me bringing you here. So I'm really happy that because when we tell you talk, you ask questions. Only we have 4 or 5 people arranged in the class to answer the questions. Everything regular. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. We'll have only 5 people arranged. So I'm at least happy that you at least came up and spoke. That is what we require, and that's what we spoke about. Explore opportunities, talk to people, make your decisions be clear, all those things, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak, or we could conclude the session?
I think Sangeeta, I've stolen most of your time today because you might be having your you have to proceed with your or whatever it is.
We respect your schedule.
Really,
I have another 20 minutes before my work day starts, so I have 20 more minutes.
Oh my God!
No, we are going to give you some breathing time. We are not going to pressurize you. But it was really good because at least, we do have people, everybody are not opening up, but they will, at least I think that they would have got that inner confidence built in them so that when they come afresh on February 8 to college physical classes, they will ask us more questions. So that is the expectation from my side. Okay.
That's good. I will definitely keep in touch with your HOD and I'll keep asking her about all of you guys, okay?
Yeah, and you have to come to Chennai, you have to come to our college, and we'll all be
Absolutely. I love coming and visiting, kids like you. I definitely will do that.
Definitely. No, definitely I'll be inviting you. If not for a lecture, for a dance or a music performance, definitely.
Just to sit and talk. Why not?
Okay.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure. I would love to come see you all in person too. So we'll do that for sure.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Shall we call it a day, Amrita, ma'am?
Ma'am is having some network issues now.
So who is going to give the vote of thanks? Will you do the vote of thanks? Jita? Or Vashita, who is going to propose the vote of thanks?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Vashita, continue. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Sangeeta ma'am, thank you for your time and everything. It's early in the morning and you're still sitting for us. Spend 2 hours. And thank you, Neha. It's more early for you, even 4 o'clock, and you're actually sitting with your mother and you increase. We're all very blessed and we really enjoyed the session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here today. And I guess you would have inspired many of us. And personally, I was also very inspired by all your speech and all. And thank you, HOD ma'am, for this platform. Um, had ma'am here today with us, and it was really an interacting session. And I should also thank the management, uh, college, and all our principal, sir, everyone. They've given us this opportunity of having webinars, and I mean, helping us overcome every fear of our life, and also helping us with other webinars. Also, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just one word formally thanking. I would like to thank our General Secretary and Correspondent, Mr. Manjeet Singh Nair, our Principal, Dr. N.G. Raghunathan, and our Vice Principal, Dr. N.G. Rajeshri, for helping us organize this webinar successfully and helping the students understand the perspectives of the East versus West. I think if they have any questions, I will get it personally and post it. Amuda ma'am, do you want to continue? Because she had been preparing. If you don't mind, I will ask her to formally give a vote of thanks.
Okay, I have lost the
Please.
between.
It is audible, you please give.
Okay, ma'am, okay. Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Sangeeta, ma'am. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening to you.
Okay, thank you. John F. Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Today, my words are not enough to express gratitude. Let me first of all thank the Almighty, the Creator, from the bottom of my heart, for making today's occasion as a most successful event. For this, we are so blessed and thankful to God. On behalf of the management, Guru Nanak College, and our department, I would like to thank our chief guest of the day, Mrs. Sangeeta Agarwal, Manager, Program Management for National Government Solution, Virginia, USA, for her valuable presence. And a special thanks for Neha Agarwal also. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our General Secretary, Sir Manjeet Singh Nair, for their support and provide us an opportunity to explore our talents. I also want to thank our Principal, Sir Dr. M.G. Raghunathan, for taking efforts to make this international webinar possible. We express our immeasurable gratification in thanking our Vice Principal, Ma'am, Dr. N.C. Rajeshri, for providing support to us. She is so energetic, enthusiastic, and always actively taking interest. I extend our sincere thanks to our beloved HOD ma'am, head of the department ma'am, Dr. Gayatri Harikumar, for briefing about for introducing the chief guest of the day. I would also like to thank all the professors of our department for encouraging students to participate and also guiding them too. Finally, in the end, I would like to extend my wholehearted thankfulness to our illustrious students who always cater the needs of our expectation and for the pillars of our strength. Thank you for both mom and daughter, Sangeeta ma'am and Neha Agarwal. Really, so amazing. So, really a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much. That was so kind. And you have wonderful teachers, wonderful HOD, who's organizing this. Wonderful principal, vice principal, and correspondent who is supporting all of this. Just be who you are, and reach out to them for any kind of support too. So and I would rather I wouldn't be doing anything else other than this morning. So I totally appreciate it. And it's just always energetic to talk to young kids. So thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sangeet. I would also place on, one second, I would place on record the thanks to the media team for telecasting it on YouTube live. So I would thank them also. And I'm really happy you can visit us personally, as kids told. You can visit our campus. We will definitely invite you when you come to India. And it was really a pleasure listening to you, because you are into every field, like corporate teaching, artistic careers. So I think you would have definitely inspired, even if they're not talking, they would have felt in their minds. So I'm really thankful to you. A very concluding namaste also to you. I'm still not.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Neha. Thanks to you too.
All right. Have a very nice Friday evening and a good weekend. Okay. Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you have
ma'am.
an
Thank
energetic
you.
day as well. Yeah. So let's conclude the session with the national anthem and just stay. Let's after the national anthem, let's have a screenshot session. We call
Yeah,
it that.
please don't leave we have to take
Yeah.
photos. I've been taking every now and then print screen or anything formally also. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I request Vinodini to sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत
भाग्य विधाता
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात
पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य उच्चल जलधि तरंगा
तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ गाहे
तव जय गाता जनगणमंगलदायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे
जय
जय हे जय हे
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I request all the participants to turn on the video so that we can